Two common scams to watch out for on eBay, and hopefully a thank you eBay. My name's Toddy. I make daily videos profiling my life and business, building non-conformity company. I've had a bit of an eBay shenanigan of late because we spent 3 months going in France in this van, renting Airbnbs, and I decided to sell. Well, we were selling some things. Sold my iPad in May, and I've gone over some of the problems with that. But the two main scams that I've identified, and I kind of knew about one, but this last sale has confirmed it. So it's just teaching you what to look out for in case you're selling, because eBay should protect the buyer and the seller. But the first scam is when you're selling something. Obviously, it's going to be probably secondhand, isn't it? Because you're selling it, you've owned it, and it might be a phone with a bit of a crack in the screen. I've sold a MacBook Air years ago, and it had a bit of a crack in the bottom corner of the screen on the black perimeter bezel part, which didn't affect the screen. I detailed that in a picture. I detailed that in the description. You make the sale, you post it out, and they're like, oh, the screen's going to need replacing because there's a crack. It's like, well, and then they're like, oh, I'll keep it if you send me the £120 it is to replace it. So there are professional eBay people that go around looking at ideal items like this, and then they play this little scam where they try and get some more money because they can probably replace the screen, or they get the money and then just resell the item. If they bought the Mac for 300 and they get 100 off, they can then go and sell it for 300. They're making £100 a sale, or thereabouts. So it's by the time you've gone to the post office, sent it, and got the money. If you've got 400 or 500 and somebody's asking for 50, 100 quid, you're just like, oh, sometimes it's just easier to do that and get them off your back rather than having to do with the return, the refund, receiving the item back, relisting it, reselling it, and maybe going through the whole rigmarole again. I had this with the iPad. The iPad worked fine, perfect working order. The guy wanted a bit of money off. I'm just like, okay. And I'm just like, as long as you give me no nonsense afterwards, because this was fine. He's like, my word is my bond. And lo and behold, he's like, oh, there's a problem with the Bluetooth, and there's something to do with the camera and the thing. If you send me £50, I'll be willing to keep the iPad. I was just like, no. This works fine. If the iPad doesn't work and you're not happy with it, then you ask for a refund, don't you? You don't just be like, oh, it's kind of not working. What kind of doesn't work on an iPad? If the screen's perfect, the case is perfect, the iPad works, it just works. So I was just like, no, mate, no way. So he was just like, oh, I'm going to report you to eBay for your shady dealings. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. He requested a refund. I mean, they're entitled to refunds. That's fine because they do have time to return it. So I was fine with him wanting a refund. I get the iPad back. He gets the money back. He got the money back. I did not get the iPad back. And then I got the tracking number, and it said it had been unable to deliver. So this comes on to the second scam that people do. So I called eBay, and they were like, oh, no, you need to get in touch with Royal Mail. I said, well, it says return to sender. And then I went away and I tried to call several times. I did get through a few times, but then got cut off. It was a bit weird calling eBay while I was abroad. And yeah, the Royal Mail still says it's returned to sender. So the buyer has had his money back and he's had the iPad back. And eBay said, oh, we can see he's used your printed label. And then I asked them to confirm the address, and that was the address here. We had no Royal Mail slip saying like, oh, we missed you today. And there was people in the house anyway, so it would have been received if it had been delivered here. So he didn't necessarily have to put the label on, did he? Print the label and put it on the package. He's put a different address on, basically, which is an incomplete, inaccurate address. So knowing that the parcel gets returned to him, knowing that then I would have to then try and find the thing, and jumping through the hoops with eBay and Royal Mail are not easy. So I called eBay again 2 days ago, and I was just like, look, I've tried calling and calling. This item says on the tracking it's been returned to the sender. He's got his iPad and his money. This is like wrong. He's obviously a professional scammer as well because he's done this. And they were just like, yeah, well, it's not within the 30 days, so we cannot give you the money back. I was like, well, I called within this. And then they said, the best you can do is contact Royal Mail and try and locate it. and try and find this package. I was like, okay, you've got a best telephone number. So today I called Royal Mail, and then you just go through an automated thing, and all it does, you put in the tracking, and it just confirms what you can see on front of your screen, which they've got and I've got anyway. But with that, I just called back eBay again. And this is the same on eBay. And this is a lesson. I think in this day and age, what they've done with customer service in AI and the automation, I've had it with Deliveroo with the refund, where you just keep having to say no, 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 no. And then you finally get the money back. eBay, it was like, no, 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 no. And finally you get the money back. They know that people are going to give up on these layers. So today I call eBay again. I'm just like, look, this is unacceptable. And the guy actually opened the call. He was like, oh, Michael, I can see you've been with us for 22 years. Thank you for your loyalty. I'm like, yeah, 22 years. I'm hoping you're going to repay that loyalty today. Because the guy's got my iPad. He's got the money. And yeah, this is unacceptable. You need to look into this guy. I've just used my account as you're supposed to use it for 22 years as a buyer and a seller, and had really very few problems. A few weirdos around, aren't they? But you're dealing with the public. There's weirdos everywhere. And yeah, so eventually he said, yeah, we're going to offer a one-time refund. It's not confirmed. He says he's got to go to review, and then, but I think he's basically confirmed they're going to honour the money and give me the money. So he's had the money and the iPad still. I'm getting the money. It just amazes me that there are people like this that are just out there praying. They're like searching for devices with cracks, knowing they're going to buy them, knowing they're going to shake people down. I just wonder what percentage of people do that. I mean, I think I have done it before in the past, because especially if you're busy and you're just like, oh, fuck, yeah, there's 40 quid. Shut up and leave me alone so you can move on. You've got a long list of tasks, and it's just an easy way to get that off your list. But I'm just glad I thought this one through, and I thought the deliverer, and I thought the Airbnb. And you've got to fight for what you want, and fight for what you want, what you believe in. And there's just with this AI and automation now, there's just a lot more barriers to get through, and they just make it harder and harder. It's all big corporations, isn't it? But the guy was nice on the eBay phone at the end of the phone, and I'm hoping I'm going to have the news, because it's nearly £300, and yeah, he just said, what do you want? I said, well, either the iPad or the money. Like, that's fair enough, isn't it? So hopefully we get there. But just wanted to let you know, those two scams, if you're out there, they do apply to other things as well in life, not just eBay. And yeah, it's just people actually wake up in the morning planning to willingly do this to other people, other humans. It's like, surely if you put that energy into something else, you would be also successful and honest. Anyway, yeah, we're feeling a bit hazy about business. I've been listing I want to list all the blueprints. I want to go to the nonconformity blueprints page and just step back from the individual ones for now, just because we're dancing with the individual ones and the main library of business blueprints. And it's been a dance between that and the other things and the tools and the nonconformity university. So we're kind of dancing around them to make sure they're all harmoniously together. So I'm just going to put a bit of attention on that, because I've got a few more, 3 or 4 business models to add to it. The community interest model, the platform business model, platform-based business model, I should say. And what was the other one? The AI wrapper was another. There was another one, and I can't remember it now. But we've got a really nice list now, which is better than the Google AI answer. And we're going to make the writing and the directory and the layout just better and really easy to understand, so people can come in that way and just really understand about the amount of different business models that there are. And the community interest business model really excites me, because it's like money's involved and you have to have money in and money out. But the profit, you're doing it not for profit. The profit is so many better things. It's bringing the community together for a common cause. It's owned by the community for the community, not for profit. There's a community kitchen in Nottingham. They've just raised some more money with a bread mill and a community kitchen, and it's owned by the community and it's for the community. So the benefits of that is people have a kitchen. If you wanted to do a market one day a week, you could rent a space. if you wanted to come in and start learning and helping other people, learning to bake bread, cooking, baking, and any pizzas, any manner of things. But it's bringing people together as well. So there's that community element of helping each other, pooling resources, ingredients. So that model can be used for all manner of things. And I think we're going to see more and more and more and more and more of that. Community interest companies, CICs, springing up all over the place. People coming together, especially around food and ingredients and health. But if you've got that community element, it's just a beautiful thing, because the profit is not money. The profit is better than money, isn't it? So going to take my attention to that and keep going. Energy's still not back, but we can only go forward.